Yep, see, there it is. It's live like that. Hey, everybody. What is going on? This is Real Time with Prince Blue. Another Behind the Badge episode. I got my man, my dog, my co-host, retired. I know you like hearing that.
Hey,
Retired
you good feeling.
Sergeant Jonathan Steppe. What's up, homie?
Brother, man, living the dream, brother. Chilling.
Living the
Doing,
dream.
doing
Now
my
we was
thing.
talking. We was talking off, and you said, you went to the gym this morning. So you
I try
still
to,
work out? You're retired. Why are you still working out?
I got to, man. It keeps me focused. So I do a lot of like looking around, listening to music, steam room, smoke and mirror type stuff. I don't know how much working out gets done. If I'm going to be on the podcast, I try to do a couple push-ups. So I look and wear smaller shirts. So I look swole for the
Well, listen,
audience.
it's you just gotta wear smaller shirts. See, people be trying to get that pump. Just wear small shirts,
That's not true. That's my
small
secret, man.
jeans.
This this is
Yeah,
this is a woman's small. Yeah. And I'm
I
6'1" and
haven't
220. But
I
but
haven't worn that since I don't know. I haven't worn small in a long time.
no, it's not small. I just make it look small, right? No.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I've been trying to grow some stuff out for you, man. So look,
what I'm trying. I can't see. What are you trying to grow out there?
so yeah, I'm
Oh,
tired. I'm tired of going in places and just in my regular clothes, and they're like, "Thank you for your service." I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Come on.
they give you the salute.
This is
Hey,
like,
I mean, come on. Until you get a mullet and a beard, people are going to constantly be thanking you for your service. Until you got to
I
get
just
hippie, man.
I just breathe, man. That service or cop, military or something, man. I guess just and I cut my hair. I shave it now because I have to because it didn't grow back where it's supposed to grow
Uh,
back. But
Let it go.
just let it, just keep it.
Listen, do you tuck your shirt into your pants and wear a belt?
I'm too long waisted, man. I got to get like triple long shirts so they can tuck. I'm 6'1" and got like a 20 inseam.
Okay. Well, see, I ain't tucking in my shirt because then
Uh,
that shows all my curves.
yeah,
So I
you
let
got to
my
keep it
stuff
loose,
fly.
man. Keep it loose. And a lot of people ask me about. Hold on, everything's in reverse. Hold on, right? You see that?
Yeah.
Can you tell what that is? Remember, right's left and left is right.
It looks like a head, like vision.
Yes, yeah, it's ahead. Next
Yes,
to
Brett, you can post it, please.
next next to my favorite flight dispatcher gave me the awesome gift of that wooden flag with my code number and stuff in it.
What you got gifts?
I got gifts.
How come you get gifts?
Yeah, I pay people to bring me gifts, man. So this is a lot of people have been making fun of me. This is may or may not be me. You see
I
that?
swear I thought that was Vision, the Marvel character.
Yeah. Is he buff too?
Well, sort of, kind of.
So like,
He's bald.
that's my police look. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
remember that look.
so Darren I had a retirement party. I think February 6th, the Saturday after I retired, and
Hmm.
to be funny, a lot of people know me. I'm goofy, silly. I don't take myself seriously. But so we made a mannequin of me with my uniform jacket and did the
I
did the
saw
face.
that. It
Look
was
at
on the front porch.
yeah, the front port. So I left it up there in the rain and everything for like a week, and got rained on. People, I didn't. No, there wasn't any crime in the neighborhood for a week. Man, that thing kept everybody away. What's up? Big shout out to look. We got Ted on there. Big shout out to Ted.
Oh, yeah. Now you want to talk about somebody who still looks like a cop? It's definitely him.
Look at that haircut, man. I saw him the other day. He's got his Oakley half jackets. Still, he's carrying around a ticket book, waiting for somebody to drop a ticket on somebody.
Girl, it was always listen whenever I think I had maybe one or two chances to have Crowley come out to a drunk driver call with me. Man, that guy, man. It doesn't feel like work when he's on the call with you. I can tell you that. Whenever he was on the call with me, it did not feel like work.
He would get mad at me like he would be doing a DWI stop in a Hispanic, and I'll say like, 27 words in Spanish, and one of them's like, like give me a beer or something. But everything he would say, I would mess with him and start trying to interpret, and he would get so pissed. He was so funny. He's a good dude. Yeah, we had some fun time. We used to ride together on Thursdays when we double up.
Yeah.
You get crazy stuff.
That guy, man, he's good, but I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, he is good.
I got some feedback.
Try.
Hello?
Is that better?
Yeah, I don't know why it's on mine, but I think it's gone now. Is it your new boom mic?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. See, don't be going out buying all this tech stuff. For those who don't know, me and Steppe, we're about to do this fantastic show where we're just going to be talking about any and everything that got to do with community, policing, relations. And he's already going out buying a boom mic, and I can hear myself talk to myself in his fancy boom mic.
I think it's my kids when he used to do like YouTube videos on. I don't know what he did. No tell that what's Minecraft.
Don't. It better be Minecraft. Well, was you doing Minecraft when you was a teenager in your room?
When I was like, what? They didn't have video games when I was his age, much less Minecraft. We were lucky to have Galaxia, and Frogger. No,
you're not that old. Come on, man.
27.
But speaking of technology, you over 20 years, me over a decade as police officer. One thing that has definitely improved and came up was social media. Mm-hmm. Now everybody has social media. You can do a social media account on your cat, on your dog, and they can potentially have a better following than you. So let's talk about what type of social media did you have while you were a police officer?
Well, Facebook is kind of when I first got into it, and basically just to document, family vacations, and it's kind of a keep up with friends and family reunions for 5-year high school reunion was coming up, right? So coming up next year, so we're doing all that stuff, and I never got political on Facebook. I don't repost. People post stuff. It gets people. I'll stay away from that. I just family photos and stuff like that. Instagram, a few years ago when it started becoming big, I opened an Instagram account, started doing the all the Instagram stuff. So then we, about maybe a year ago, started a TikTok account. So the TikTok account, or which they really didn't like CMPD, but I think last time I looked, I don't mess with it a lot anymore, kind of on and off, but had like 105,000 followers doing police videos. But you're right. I mean, I was told that if one person could be offended, possibly it's against policy, which is there's no way to maintain that standard. It's impossible. Whatever we do is going to offend somebody. I think we talked about that before, but
So wait a minute. So Jay, you telling me that I guess I want to say it's like 80 billion people on the planet, and they're telling me if one person is offended, then it's in violation.
Yep. They suspended me for 30 days, not because someone was offended, because hypothetically someone could have been offended, even though I had some of these had millions of views. And other than the people that were just cop haters, saying F12 and stuff, everything was pro-police. In a time we were going through the riots in May and June, everything was pro-police, trying to show that we're ordinary people. We have, sense of humor, doing funny silly videos. So and a lot of people didn't like them, the real serious people, because they were silly and goofy. Well, heaven forbid we be silly and goofy. I mean, everybody they look at us at the job. We have to be serious all the time. So I, you know,
And where's that gotten us? Being serious,
that,
being assholes, being stoic,
mhm.
having no personalities. Where
and,
has
and,
that gotten us as police as a whole? I would love to know.
yeah, and that's the thing is uh, let us be. We represent our organization, which we have stricter standards than someone that would be maybe that works for themselves
In the
or
military?
in the military. Yeah, yeah. So we everything we do has nothing could reflect poorly on the department, right? But there's a way to uphold that standard, but still let us be individual. Let it be silly and goofy. If they don't like something, make it create a policy against it. But in my case and other officers' cases, they uphold the standard based on what they think is funny, not funny, right or wrong, instead of it's like criminal law, for instance. So
But funny is subjective. Like to the stuffy people up top, they may not find it funny, but other people may. This is the thing that bothers me about social media. It's like everybody's going to be offended. The thing of the day is people wake up and they be like, what am I going to be mad about today? To some people, just your existence is offensive.
yeah, the badge, and that goes back to the uniform. So uh, I'll bring something up that I did some research since last Wednesday. I can't find any. I know when FOP, I'll step back, when FOP presented the kind of I don't want to say demands, but kind of suggestions to the chief during the meeting with the chief. He made mention of the vest carriers could cause upper back problems. Uh, I did extensive. I can't find any articles or evidence that that suggests
That's my boy Brett.
that suggests that it causes any back problems. And everything that I found shows that it eliminates back problems. Nothing in the contrary. I think the chiefs, not verbatim, said, "Hey, well, it might alleviate lower back problems, but it causes upper back problems." I can't find any evidence to support that, as well as a lot of the agencies I reached out to, Pineville, Huntersville, most every agency in Mecklenburg County, either switched to the outer vest carrier or thinking about switching to the outer vest carrier. And the perception and feedback from the community they have gotten has been pretty positive. So
I just want to know what the fuck is a stripe down our the police officer's pants gonna do for crime?
nothing.
What is it gonna do? Like
you could get it like even a new chief or a new sheriff, they come in, a lot of times they switch the cars out, as a scheme. They want something to kind of brand them. They want to come up with something new.
How about officers being happy?
Exactly. So
make that a brand.
So,
make that be, oh my God, when this chief came in, that was some of the best years of my life as a police officer. Make that be your brand. Not they put a stripe down my pants.
You have to balance, and it goes back. Remember, prior to the merger, they had, I think it was a yellow stripe. Did they have a stripe down their pants?
Yeah.
They had something like they had, and they had like Ted brought up, the highway patrol has to wear Class A's years around. They're miserable. They hate it.
Long sleeves,
and tie year round. They're miserable. They get hot. They're miserable. And two, their jobs, they do accident reports in North Carolina, and they're doing maybe some traffic stops, but they're not doing, for the most part, they're not going through the woods. They're not going to robberies, house to house. So I don't think it's even practical for them, but that's the image they want to uphold. But for what we do as a law enforcement officer, it's not practical to have a polyester. It is miserable to wear that uniform. It's just there's no upsides about it. And like to your point, when you come on, a lot of, like I said, they want to brand or do something their own. But what positive? And I'm not saying he hadn't done any. I'm just speaking out loud. What positive? Let's make a list of what positive things the new administration have done. I'm sure there've been some. So versus what have they done for the troops? The perception is everybody I've talked to, and I've talked to hundreds of officers, and people reach out to me that they don't care. Even think the officer out of 2,000 officers, full strength, we're about 1,800. The majority of those, 90%, are officers levels, right? So 90% of the organization are the ground troops, the privates, the in our cases, coordinators, patrol, FMT, detectives. What are we doing? I'm about to ninja kick my dog.
It's okay. Don't ninja. I don't need PETA.
PETA.
Oh yeah.
But what they're because I remember when like I've said before, I really like Putney. Some people had issues with him. I've never had an issue with him. I really, really liked him. So, and I wanted the new chief to. I was excited. Hey, new chief, some changes. Change is always exciting, and it's not too late for him to do some things for the officer, like we talked about. That I don't think he realizes. And hopefully he doesn't, because what they feel like is he knows and he just doesn't care what a big morale issue this is. So not only is he saying, hey, we're not going to give you your uniform you've been trying to get. They had years ago they tried suspenders and they didn't like suspenders look. So now they're trying to.
That was so stupid.
So yeah, and my brother's was a cop. He had to go out with a second back surgery.
Why the fuck would police want to wear suspenders?
I don't know. Well, they were just desperate trying to get the pressure off the belt. Like Pierce County, Washington, King County, all those places. They saw them on cops wearing the suspenders that lifts up their belt and takes the pressure off their hip. But
like fucking Humpty Dumpty with suspenders,
cowboy boots and a hat.
Yeah, like what the fuck are we doing here, man?
But so this, I mean, and I wore the bike uniform without a carrier, and it was awesome. And in my entire career, I've had back problems due to I don't know, they call it chronic belt fatigue or something. Mm-hmm. It's just from that constant weight. 20 people don't realize our gear when you see us running, we've got
25 pounds,
30 pounds of gear
banging up against your hip bone.
You got a body camera. You got, you used to have to wear it on, here with the antenna. And
I did that.
Falling out of your face. Now they got it's just a ton of stuff to carry on your body. And I consider myself decently in shape. And I mean, running through the woods or jumping over fences, man, it's tough on the body, man. So what that does, it just distributes the weight around the shoulders. Everything's here, and it's a vest carrier. It's not a tactical carrier, so it's not like we talked about last time. It's not a level 4 tactical, military vest where it stops.
What are they so afraid of?
I don't know. It's perception, man. But if you add the stuff that's positive for the officers, morale, number one. It looks good. It looks really tight. It fits tight. It's comfortable. Thanks, Ann. Gun belt syndrome is the name of it. It was corrected. But it makes perfect sense. And I can't think, or I haven't talked to the agency that went to it or found any research that has anything negative. And the only people that are negative about it are the people who are negative anyway about anything that we do. And because, I've even had somebody brought up, well, what if they, the blue line stripe, people are going to be offended by that, saying now we have a blue line, the people were offended by the blue line flag. So now with the blue line stripe,
now you put it down your pants.
That's going to offend people. So we want to look professional, but there's a way to do it now. And most major agencies are going to that or best care. It's comfortable. It's has the health benefits. So not only does it, in my opinion, looks better, looks good, it's clean, but it's practical. We're in the 2021, and I think it needs for the officers. It needs to get approved, or at least take a serious look at, and honestly give the apparently there's a new uniform that the people were trying out, and the only question they're being asked. So I'm getting this third party. So this is what I've been told. The only question
I'm probably getting the same information I'm getting. Go ahead.
The only officer the things that are being asked is, does it prevent them from doing their job? Not, is it comfortable? Do you like it better than XYZ? It's that's it. And like Fogey said, it prevents injuries. I mean, there's so many positives, and the only negative is perception from a little bit of few people who are going to fuss about anything.
This is my thing, Jay, is it feels like it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't like it, then quit. We pay you to do a job, then just do it. But I know 90% of police do this job because they love doing it. They don't do it because they think they're going to get rich.
It's a great job, and to some it's job security. Some it's a calling. For me, that's all I ever wanted to do since I was a little kid, and I enjoy doing the job. And people are like, what do you do for a hobby? I'm like, I'm a cop. That's what I do. That's what I do for fun, and it like another officer brought up to me today, the reason they go to work now with morale is low, but it's for the other officers because they enjoy that time. If it's roll call together, going to lunch, and they don't want to not show up and something happen, to
and
you.
They're not there.
Yeah, so they're doing it for each other. They're doing it for the love of the community because they're all a lot of officers, majority officers who care and give a damn. But it's harder and harder with the negative press. The politicians in a lot of cases not supporting us. In a lot of cases, the administration is not supporting us or doesn't care. Maybe it seems like all they care about is their rank and higher. They don't care. They're too good or too arrogant to worry about what the person below them thinks, maybe with some more experience or different perspectives. But I don't know what to say. I'm disappointed.
I mean, you're going to continue to be disappointed because it's not going to change. I mean, it's just people only care about their own bubble, their own circle.
Yeah.
And if what they think and higher think is in sync, then that's all that matters. Like this whole town hall bullshit, and we want to hear what you have to say. You want the perception that you want to listen to what we have to say.
Spoken there.
But you really don't give a shit because we've been saying this for over 5 years, how the uniform has to change. But you still trying to go to a different type of uniform that's not going to help the officers. So all these town hall meetings, all this bullshit where you can meet up and talk on the mic. I told somebody the other day, I would frankly show up and be like, this is bullshit. You're not going to listen to us anyway. And then see what their reaction is. See how they retaliate against you. See what happens to you. If you feel comfortable doing that, then do it. But my thing is, right now, everything's about perception, but that perception isn't lining up with actions. Like you want to perceive that you care about what the officers think.
Yeah,
you really don't. You want us to look professional, but let's just call it space. You could put a uniform on. You could make anything look good. Fucking Marcus Jackson looked good.
Yeah, it's true. and so not only, but it's a slap to the face of officers. Not only are we not going to give you what you've been asking for, and it's a uniform the black officers use. Of course, they would do a different pen or something with a regular uniform, but I don't know of any negative feedback it's received. But so not only are they saying, hey, we're not going to give that to you, we're going to take you out of the 511s and put you in something else. So it's a smack in the face to say, no, you're not getting that. But matter of fact, we're going to give you something else that you guys aren't alike.
And I saw a picture of that new uniform on an officer, and he was kind of big, but
I was supposed to be getting one.
the picture didn't. I'm like, okay. So you put a stripe down the pants. Good for you. I'm trying to figure out when I'm in a rough part of town and they look at me, they be like, oh, that officer squared away. He got a stripe on his pants. I'm not going to run from him because he looks good.
Yeah. And so officer just brought up too as one of the pillars that we know of, the 4 pillars of the departments is officer wellness. But
yeah, right.
What has the department done for officer wellness? Because I could say they didn't when I got diagnosed with PTSD and needed help, the department didn't do zero. They didn't even call and check on me. I mean, I went from asking for help, going out, medically retiring. That process took 4 or 5 months. Not one call from anybody other than my friends and direct supervisors, just checking on me. No one from the department, hey, thank you for your service, or nothing like that. So, where was the officer wellness program? And I've spoken to several officers that are having issues and trying to get help, and they haven't done anything. So they, and with the vest thing, that's the officer wellness issue. As well as me, most cops who've been cops more than 5 years, sometimes I have back problems. You come home and they got to go to chiropractor regularly. And if that's a good thing, they should maybe look at offering maybe chiropractic service, kind of like they do with the doctor service, where you could go to the doctor and no copay and stuff, and have a in-house chiropractor. That might help. I mean, there's things they could do to take care of the officer and show good faith that they care about a lot. But the problem is, as a sergeant, they want us to go in and say, hey, we got to keep these troops motivated. And it used to be, as long as you do the right thing, you stay within policy and law, we'll back you, right? But not anymore.
Yeah.
So how do you go in and tell your officers, let's go out here and go after bad guys? But when we do that, shit's gonna hit the fan. Nothing ever goes as planned. When somebody tries to run us over or kill us or shit hits the fan, they're going to throw it. Then frame by frame watch our videos and critique us. You drove too fast. You said a bad word. They just go through and just hammer these officers, man. Because they're worried about, once again, it comes down to perception. And I get it. You have to be professional, but sometimes, if you're in a combat situation, you're going to say.
I'm so sick of that, man. I'm so sick of the whole, you got to be professional. We know you got to be professional, but you tell me any person that's going to be professional if they're fighting for their fucking lives.
Yeah, man. And think about it. In football, dude, you watch Sunday football and they're on the line. They're cussing shit, man. They don't get ridden up, because they're in their game. They're in the middle of the high tense stuff. People, they're fighting us. They're, your adrenaline's going.
You have to allow emotion and adrenaline, all that stuff to kick in.
And the more they micromanage and critique us, and remember, you were in the same class, they're not going to use this body camera as a gotcha tool, right? And their words,
that didn't last
almost long. Verbatim. No, we all laughed. No. Verbatim, like if you're fighting somebody or you're chasing somebody, in the heat of the moment, you call them an MFer, right? Then you're not going to wear that. But now it's coming. Your tone's too aggressive. Your shout. And we talked about before, I would have had to shoot a lot of people, if it wasn't for, putting the fear of God in them. You're yelling at them, please drop the knife, sir. They're going to be like, who's this fool? I'm going to try you. You got to come at them, and you almost have to for them to think you're crazy. Come out and just like, and yell some aggressive shit at them, dude. And to get them,
Drop the
but
fucking gun.
it's a de-escalation technique to get them to comply. And most of the time that works. It's like you have to, you can't come under them and try to bring them down.
I've been on a call where a rookie would try to do that professional shit, and a person would look right up like, "You just got out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Who's this? Who's this pussy, Blue? Like, what is he talking about? Like,
They know, man.
You're sitting there like, well, he already thinks my backup's a joke, so if it goes down, he already know. I just gotta take care of him, and we good. Like, come on, man, you gotta let us be human.
They have, state law allows us to do this much, right? In state law, you have case law if it's U.S. Supreme Court decisions, state Supreme Court decisions, but our policies restrict us. And then on top of that, we have policies, and then they're like, well, just to be on the safe side, or CYA, we're going to allow this much. So, and then, I interpret this, and there's no consistency. It just messes everything up. I feel bad for the officers that are on there on a daily basis. I love the dudes. I don't know how they do it. It's getting to the point. It's ridiculous. Did you hear about those cards, access cards they have with like a chip in them now, like a Jeep?
No.
So apparently, so I've got this from a couple people, so I don't know exactly how it works, right? So, but apparently, it's an access card with a chip in it. I don't know if it has like a GPS, but now when they turn the car on or log on the computer, they have to scan the card or the chip, and everything's recorded, like their vehicle speed, if they accelerate, just the, like, when they go in, when they go out. Apparently, it's just the data.
To record if you fart.
Yeah, maybe. But do you see what I'm saying? I mean, it's just another like, holy shit. There's a difference of being professional, hold us accountable, and just micromanage the point where it's impossible. They want us to be robots without emotion, and when you do that, the communities that puts a divide between us more than it does is if we're real. So
So with all of that going on, like as a police officer, like what? Because I'm trying to think what I used to do besides sleep. When I would like come home, I would either sleep, play video games, or go to off duty. So that was my way of unwinding. And as I got later on in my career, social media really hit boom. So, I'll be like on Twitter and Facebook, stuff like that. But it got progressively hard because the moment somebody knows what you do, the first thing they said, how can they hire somebody like that? Like, you had to constantly be careful what you post, what you type, everything. And now that I'm retired, oh boy, I know they wish I was back because now I don't give a shit. Somebody said something 2 weeks ago. They was like, "You should be a disgrace. I'm gonna call your department." Go ahead.
See what I told you the other week, no telling how many complaints internal affairs got on me since I left. But it's a good feeling, man. If you just, to be able to. And a lot of that's suppressed. Like for me, for 21 years, you can't say anything political. You have to, you can't express who you are unless you're behind closed doors. But now I can say whatever I want and say how I feel, and it's liberating. And what's great is I can say whatever the hell I want. I can cuss or call somebody an asshole if I want to. Yeah. They can't do crap about it, man.
They can't do nothing.
So, and call the department. That's fine. I'll tell them the same thing. Don't do it. But so that's a little bit. People always say once you're retired, after that stress, that anxiety, a lot of it leaves. Because all the pressure and stuff on you. But the main thing we talked about before, the stress comes. 90% of it comes from the admin, not the job, not the reports, not dealing with bad guys. It's the stress of the administration.
So we like now where I remember to where you can have like during the whole elections and stuff like that. It was people like it was people that were that were scrutinized because of which way they lean, and it's just weird. Social media now as police officer, I know it's definitely hard. It's like now you can't even have pictures of you in uniform. You can't even say what you do because they will use that against you, especially if you got a department that's heavy in um perception and want to just make the community happy no matter what.
Yeah.
Like it will get you hemmed up real quick. Now I was fortunate. I never got in trouble about anything I did on social media. You did. So tell me your if you can tell me your thought process when you first found out, wait a minute, you tell me I'm about to fucking get in trouble for something as goofy as a TikTok video.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So tell me what went through your mind during that.
So honestly, I was surprised that I was even up there for this, and there's one video where I'm in my own home, have a similar shirt on, like a rogue shirt and some pants. Well, I walk in and I have gray sweatpants and a shirt, a rogue shirt, and I jump. And when I land, I've got on my vest, outer carrier vest that I bought. I own the stuff on it, the Molly gear, my leg holster that I bought that a lot of times we wear at work, and then unloaded gun, right? So and when I went in, TikTok, if you don't know what it is, you kind of find a soundbite or a song, and people do videos to it. So I did this. It has a cocking of the gun sound. So I cocked the gun, and when I jumped, I landed back down. I was in my uniform. The gun turned into a donut, and I look at it, and I was shrugging my shoulder, take a bite, and go like this, and it was over. It was that dun 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 dun. dun. I don't know. Yeah,
and that was the video. I think. And that was the video that.
And I'm like, and they're like, it's not offensive. I'm like, no, how's that offensive? Like, well, you cocked a gun. And like, you have a rifle in the background. I'm like, well, that's my bathroom. And I had a captain said, do you not think that was dangerous? I'm like, the gun was unloaded. I'm not caught. It's just for sound effects. The gun's in my bathroom because that's where I keep a gun. My rifle's in there. It's my Alamo. So come to my house. If you make it upstairs, and that's my Alamo, then good luck to you then. But I'm like, I'm eating a donut, but well, can you not see how, in their words, this is what they said: if someone's son was killed by the police, that they saw you cocking a gun, that they wouldn't be offended. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, they're taking these hypothetical scenarios that make no sense at all and applying to what I did. So, and I made very sure, I read the policy, I knew the social media policy. Went down the list, had other people review it, look at my videos, and no 1,000 violation of policy. So, but they take something that on face value is not a violation of policy, and then put a spin on it to try to make it against policy. And that's how they try to control you, because they didn't like the fact. A lot of people don't know what, they think a lot of just kids on TikTok. There's a lot of adults too, but it was fun. It was something that I could do. I was having a lot of stress in my life, PTSD issues. So I could focus on making a video, silly and goofy. I'm tired of being serious. I got to be serious at work, and post it. And people laugh. Have these followers, and I've never had so much. Thank you, law enforcement. Black the blue. That's awesome. And then so it was getting a lot of positive feedback, but then all of a sudden the department gets it, and then punishes you. Yeah. So
the power of social media.
But you notice there's a lot of other things that are on there that other officers do. Command staffs on social media in their uniform. There's all this other stuff that they don't pay any attention to. Even though if you use the same standard, to me, that they did to me to these other people, they've been violations.
I
But
mean, let's be real. Like Cedar Post, I mean, they had a field day with the remember when we was restricted, we couldn't do anything during CIAA?
yeah, yeah.
And somebody in command staff was having a fucking birthday bash.
Mm-hmm.
Cedar Post had fucking a field day with that. And you know it was officers in those comments like, yeah, we can't do nothing, but you can have a birthday bash in the middle of CIAA, one of the most stressful events we have in Charlotte, where anything goes, but you can have a birthday bash, but we can't take time off. We can't do nothing. We can't celebrate nothing. So what the fuck is this? So this is my whole thing about it's so uneven, and it's like honestly sometimes I think they operate in their own bubble. Like we do what we do.
And
If you got a problem, come find it.
so,
And if you find it, you find it.
and well, like we talked about before in your eye hearings, if you defend yourself, then they hammer you, right? So that's what happened to me. I'm defending myself and get 30 days suspended. You know, for no one's ever known anyone to get in trouble. I mean, it's for something that even if those allegations were true, it would have been, 2 days, maybe a week or something. But what I brought up and they didn't have an answer for, and this just shows you how hypocritical they are. So, remember the post where the chief took a knee and had one hand in the air, right? So during the protest, a lot of people were offended by that, right? So I don't have a problem with do what you want. I don't. My opinion is it's not appropriate to feel like you're picking a side when you need to be impartial, and it made us feel like that. I don't know. It's just, but whatever. So, but he had several interviews, and one of the interviewers from one of the news medias interviewed him and said, "Hey, a lot of people thought this was divisive and offensive. Okay, so what do you say to that?" In his words, almost verbatim, were, "It didn't. I did it to show unity," and he may have. I'm not judging what he did or why he did it. I don't know. He knows. So, but he said, "I did it to unite," and it basically it doesn't matter how other people perceive it. It matters why I did it. So what's important is what I meant it to display and not how people see it.
Versus your perception, right?
Perception, which okay, I'm good with that. I agree with that. The problem is so I brought that up in my board, be like, well, wait a minute. You're saying this could be offensive. I'm doing it to be funny, but you're saying someone could be offended by it. If we use that standard the chief uses and set the standard for me, then my reasoning, and they're like, we think you're trying to be funny, but you could be offending people. But I'm like, well, if you use that standard, then the chief uses for himself. Doesn't that apply to me too? He set the standard. If he's saying this is the standard that he's held to, but yet they hold me to a different standard. And that's what I have a problem with. And to your point, that's what they do. They do what they want and then apply the other issues the way they want to. So if they got quiet, there was a lot of whispering and stuff. And they went on to the next question because there's no defense for it. They can't. There's no defense. So based on that alone would exonerate me if we use that standard. But we're held to different standards.
That's the thing about double standards. They never make any fucking sense, and you can't explain them away because that's why they call them double standards. Because they're always like, well, wait a minute, you do this, but when I do it, blah blah blah. It's just
And you're in the military. You're an officer. My 21 years in law. I'll take if I screw up legitly. I'll argue for my guys so they don't do anything wrong, and I don't do anything wrong. I'll fight for myself and I'll fight for my guys. I'm not going to take it laying down for sure. But if we take responsibility when we mess up, we're men. If I mess up and I did something, you say, "Hey, here it is." It got to the point where they were like, "Well, this patch is copyrighted. The badge and patch is copyrighted. So you put that on the internet, and you're a violation of." I'm like, well, okay. It's looked on LinkedIn. and all those social medias, the command staff are all over in their uniform. Are they in violation? That's not the policy for that to say I can't upload it to my website, TAC Ops Gear, and represent the department saying, hey, here's a patch. It's copyright. That's what uploading to the internet, not having a picture of yourself on social media. But
it's funny.
And basically, I've told them, just let me do my job. Let me go catch bad guys. And let us operate in what we're allowed to do, and we'll go do it. But the problem is, they keep shrinking that, and more so. And,
well, you ain't got to worry about it no more because
but I'm passionate about it because these other 1,750 guys or 1,800 guys, they're getting screwed over. It pisses me off, man, because like the reason we're here is because we give a shit. And it might sound like we're bitching, and sometimes we are, but we're passionate about this stuff. And we see the officers and being treated unfairly, and it affects it affects the morale, it affects the department, it affects the organization in the whole. And then ultimately the community has to be affected because look what's happening.
You got disgruntled cops on the street.
And they go out there, and now they had a bad day and pissed off, and they represent the department in a different way because the way they're being treated. We had 3 juvenile gunshot victims yesterday in Charlotte. 3. And that's unacceptable. And tell me if you want to, you don't have to use any names if you don't want to, who you reached out to. And so this really excites me. If you could go, I don't know how much you want to go into it, or you don't have to use a name, but this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create change, and so if we bitch, we're trying to come up with solutions. We're not just, I could be on here and tell you horror stories about how I felt like this XYZ has been screwed over, but I'm bringing up relevant points that not only affected us, but these officers. And a lot of these never affected me and won't, but it affects the men and women out here in uniform. They go out here and bust their ass and keep our community safe. And they get treated like shit sometimes. And it pisses me off.
And I will say this, that me and Steppe are working with, we're not going to say their names yet because we're still ironing out some details, but we're working out with a real prominent organization in Charlotte that's onto some fantastic things, and they're trying to do something about the violence in the community. They're trying to open up the communications and the wherewithal on how to get things done in the community, from police to community. And I'm very excited about this opportunity that may present itself. Like I said, we're hashing out the details now, but when that interview happens and when we have that guest on, I want all eyes on that, because this is why you and I got together. It's not a bitch session. Like sometimes, we're going to get on, we're going to bitch.
That's what you do, yeah.
But at the end of the day,
that's what we're good at.
That's what we're good at. We want to make change. And the reason why you and I have decided to do this type of show is we want change. We don't want just change for police. We want change for the community, because guess what? That makes our job easier. If we can open up the dialogue, if we can get some of this tension between police and community lightened up a little bit, then we can go places. Because I'm gonna tell you this, all this extra bullshit that these departments think they're doing with the community and pandering, that's not what's working. Let me tell you something. As a black man, I don't want you talking down to me. I don't want you showing up in your little fancy white shirts or whatever color fucking shirt you wear and telling me how you want to change and how can help us help you. All that fucking fake lingo shit, because I'm black and I talk to a lot of black people. We don't believe you.
No, we
don't trust you.
It's like, hearing a politician speak. that there's a
Right.
lot of talk and no, and that's what excites me about this group because one, they have credibility and they're doing a lot, and
Hmm.
almost as far as out of the research, almost all of it in the minority neighborhoods. In their and that's so they're stepping up. And I'm not saying the minority are the only place that need problems, but right now the victims of the violent crime are in these neighborhoods for the most part. Right, we're having innocent
Hmm.
kids getting shot. We're having issues, and
Within the homes,
within the home, and how
we're
and,
having issues all
and these
over.
kids, they have a beef and they go to the gun. Right, it's no. So what this group's trying to do is is fill that gap where there's not one at home and be a mentor to these kids and be a community solving problem solver and not just talking out of their ass saying, send us money, this is what we want to do. They appear to be sincere, and I'm excited about meeting with them. And I think it should be a good partnership. And it shows you behind the scenes, Blue and I are out there. We're talking to people and we're doing a lot because we care. So I'm super excited about that.
Absolutely. And we're not just getting on, just firing up a broadcast and just talking. No, behind the scenes, we're talking to people. We're trying to get people on that look like me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take you in a little bit of a private conversation. Me and Jay was talking about it, and Jay was like, "Hey, I'll be there if you need me to." I was like, "Absolutely, I want you to be there because number one, the reason why it's gonna work and it's a totally different dynamic because like I said, breaking news, I'm black, you're white, we both wore the badge. Some of the things that goes on within the job are between black and white officers, so it's good to have that dynamic to where we can bounce things
It's,
off of each other and we can figure things out.
and if a lot of people on the outside looking in, this is real. This is what the issues that have faced public safety, military, and we talk about this issue just not only in Charlotte, and not only in major metropolitan cities. This is in all over the place. Small town USA, sheriff's park. So they might have different issues or more severe than we have, and I've always agreed the only the police and the community need to partner, right? Partnership. But I think we do a lot of things that we can't do, and it's not our responsibility. We're law enforcers, right? We need to
Mhm.
bridge that gap, but we need to identify people. And I think a lot of departments are going to this, which is good. People like the organization we're talking to who are willing to go out there and do stuff, and they're putting up billboards.
And they can do stuff
And
and don't
they
have to worry about being in violation of policy
yeah, and they
or
have
coming across.
credibility.
Right.
These people, they have credibility in those neighborhoods. I can't, let me grab 5 of my neighbors and go to the crowd, and they're gonna be like, who the hell are these dudes? Because even though as a police officer, I can relate more than most because I spent a lot of my time in those areas. But I don't have any, they're like, who's this dude? I mean, it's like, what do you know? It's like a dentist
They're
coming
saying
to
who's
me and
this
tell me how to be a
dude,
cop. You're
but
like, go, yeah.
yeah,
So
they're saying who's this dude, but you can replace dude with a lot of different other pronouns.
yeah. But so as soon as you told me about that, man, I told you, I was like, man, that's awesome. And I think that's what I said, man. I'm like, this is good stuff because not only could we maybe even if we're retired, we can't go out here and lock up bad guys, even though we locked up a lot of people. And, you feel like, well, what good did it do? Oh, they get you in trouble when you go do something, right? So, but we still have the ability to make the community, not only the ones we physically live in right now in your neighborhood, my neighborhood, but as a whole, a better place for our kids. We both have kids, or our future kids, future Charlotteans, future and I take pride in where I live. I have a desire to make it a better place. I want the neighborhood on the west side. I live on the south side. I have a desire for that place on the west side or north side, east side to be. I don't like it when I get notifications that there's been a homicide
or shooting, or
that's because not only people, a lot of times it's a bad guy gets killed. They're beefing over drugs or something. Like, oh yeah, it's a drug dealer. That's what he got. But they leave behind sometimes children, family members. They're not the bad guys, right? But it has a generational effect on that entire family. Because this guy might have been involved in criminal activity. Sometimes bad things happen, but it has a ripple effect through the community, family, friends that are good people. But it's sad. And who's going to be opposed to trying to make things better? Even cops like, hey, I don't want to go to 17 shootings in a shift. My goal is, I feel like I'm doing it if nothing happens.
Right. I don't want to go to any shootings. I don't want to do all this. And there's some police out there that legitimately want change. And don't get me wrong, there's some departments, some administration that legit want change for the right reason.
Yeah.
But there's also some out there that want it for the wrong reasons. And that's what we're trying to get that element out of the community, out of the departments. We're trying to get that phoniness away from the people that's legit trying to change things. We want to get rid of the whole politicians or the whole we want to come hold your hand when shit goes to the fan. No. We want you not just when things are bad. We want you continuously in the community, in the neighborhoods, trying to make change, trying to make things better. And until you can do that, and the only time we see you is when something really, really goes bad, then the community is going to continue not to trust you.
Yeah.
Period.
You're right.
It's as simple as that. Yeah. I mean, I can't make it any more clear. I'm telling you, like sometimes I lose my eyeballs rolling them in the back of my head when I see these high officials talking in the community, because I'm like, okay, did they know you before this? Did they know you before this? Did they know who you were? Did they know what you were about? Did they know your standards? Did they know what you were trying to change? No. All they see is a stuffy guy up here running his mouth, telling us what he thinks we want to hear.
Going down the checklist of the gotcha terms, of the
professionalism.
Keywords, so they sound but I take care of your people. If they're do something wrong, hold them accountable. We all agree. No one disagrees with that. And like you said before, no one likes or wants a bad cop. We worked with them. We worked with cops who went to prison that have done bad things. And I don't know one person who's like, hey, covering for them, right? It's no. I've never met a cop who wants people like that working his job. It gives us.
And to say that I want people to understand this isn't the movies. Like, I get it. There are some places where there were large cover-ups and bad stuff, but I'm telling you, me and Steppe is on a call. We have been there where it was thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Multiple thousand, grade A, cocaine, whatever you want to call it. We actually get off counting all that and submitting it because we want every dollar counted, because this is how much drugs we got off the street.
Yeah.
This is how many guns we got off the street. This is how much drug money we got off the street. I have yet to be near a cop where he's like, man, I'm going to take me some of that. It doesn't work that way.
And every cop I know would be the first one to probably kick his ass, right? But two, yes, turn his ass in. And that's what they should do. Don't do anything unethical and don't do anything illegal. We work in the gray as far as policy and stuff. And but it's take care of your people. Make sure they're taken care of. Let them know you care about them. Officer wellness and all this other stuff. What are you doing?
Those are key words.
Doing for our officers to keep them, for their health, for their mental health, for their physical health, for their families, for their
financial health.
I mean, what are we doing? So don't brag about it being a pillar if there's nothing being done. I don't know of anything, because when I needed help, they weren't there. Like I said, Dr. E was awesome. He's a contractor with a psychiatrist, and then HR, right? And then you know, my chain of command, my lieutenants, the
Your
captain,
friends,
my friends.
your friends within the
No,
department.
no one else. And it would have meant the world to me for maybe a major or somebody say, hey, on behalf, we're calling to check on you. Do you need anything? We're here to help. We support you. Just something, or at least when you go to retire, hey, thank you for your service. Thank you. But it was none of that. And then I'm like officer wellness. I'm struggling with having nightmares and having PTSD issues, and the 26th was the 5-year anniversary of my shooting, and so I didn't get any calls. I touched base with the people involved with the shooting. My partner who got shot, and the other officer who came charging up to save the day. But I mean, nothing, man. And I don't think it affects you. I'm sure you remember the date of your shooting, and
every day.
Yeah. So it just frustrates me because I feel like a lot of these are like politicians. They say what they have to say just to say it, but there's no backing. So that's why, again, I go back to the organization we have a meeting with tomorrow, and I'm excited about it.
Very much excited. And on that note, I just want to let everybody know, thank you for joining. It's because for all intents purposes, I was not planning on doing the show tonight.
And then we agreed, let's do like 20, 25.
Yeah. And then here's Jay. He sends me a sad face. And then I'm like, well, we can do a show today, And then he's like, cool. And I'm like, okay. But see, this is the thing where, you look out for each other because, it's nothing for me. I was like, yeah, I'll fire it up. Why not? But this is some of the things where, these are some of the relationships you forge. Because I didn't know John from a can of paint before working with him in the police department. And honestly, if I was to see him on the street, I probably wouldn't have said nothing to him. But again, these are the type of things, these are the type of relationships you forge when you're in high pressure situation with somebody that you're gonna trust them with your life, and you grow close to them. It
builds that bond, man.
Right. Correct.
And you're dealing with the same things, you can relate, and it's powerful. And like you said, we were planning to do 20 or 30 minutes, and then, of course,
it turned into an hour.
I didn't have any tequila to sip on tonight, so I'm probably a little more wound up than I'm missing something. But it comes across. I hope it's passion and frustration for the people there now. I just feel like So we might use our examples how something that happened to us, but we're not. It doesn't do me any good.
Right.
I'm retired. I get my pension, but I could just check out and go to the beach and smoke weed or do whatever, and no one can say stuff to me. But I care enough to stick by. And thanks for Crystal giving a shout out. She does extremely a lot for the police department, for the volunteer. Her husband was awesome, one of the best detectives I ever met, and they sent me a card, and I love them. And it's very for my retirement, and I really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome, and they do. She used to be.
Yes. Thank you, Crystal, so much. You're always supporting us. Thanks to everybody that's supporting us. Before we go, I want to show. I was cleaning up, and look what I found, Jay. Can you read that?
18 word 150 recruit class, 158th.
I forgot about this. Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about here. Like, Essence of Policing Team Award, 158 CMPD recruit class, Squad 1, February 19, 2010.
Yeah, man.
Think about it. It was 53 of us, 53 individuals from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different beliefs, different sexual orientations, different everything. By the end of that class, we were family.
Yeah.
I mean, I get chills thinking about it because you're looking at somebody across the room and you're like, who's this
And
JL or
like you
whatever?
brought up two different walks of life, that we would never have crossed. You might be like, yo, Step, I like your shoes because I got some, I know you like shoes and I got some good shoes, but other than that, man, we wouldn't pay any attention to each other, right?
Nope,
I mean,
none.
not because we wouldn't like each other, just because we don't.
Just because
You just walk by people
it's
all the
just
time.
life.
But
Yeah.
what we have, same thing maybe in the military. That I was never in the military, but you meet somebody, yeah, I was in the army. What'd you do? You kind of have the same MOS or whatever, and you kind of connect, right? So same thing with police officers. That's why we meet somebody from LA, you kind of click because different places, you police the same way everywhere, and you immediately have something in common, and that brotherhood brings you together. So what's great about the job is, we have, in Eastway, we had Vietnamese officers, Fan the man, love the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, black officers, Hispanic officers, white officers,
Asian officers
you
had
have,
it all.
and you mix them up and you throw them together, and then you put on the uniform, and you're all blue. You're not. You don't. I don't. I never look. Who's that black officer? Who's that Asian officer? Who? That's goes away, and it's
Fighting.
we're
You don't
family,
give a
we're
damn.
together, and we're going to the minority neighborhoods, fighting for their freedom, like
Yeah.
GI Joe. We're going to the Vietnamese, Hispanic. We do it anywhere. Hey,
Go ahead.
I didn't bring it up. I don't know. I'm going van life, man. I got me a Sprinter van.
Oh yeah, you sent me that damn van, and now you destroyed the algorithms in my phone because now they think I want a Springer van. I don't want a Springer van.
Sprinter.
I don't. A
Going van life.
Springer.
I'm probably drive off somewhere in the Grand Canyon. You never see me again. Hopefully, I'm looking for me because I'm planning.
There you go, Super Dave. Like I don't think you should be in a Sprinter van.
What's my profile on Instagram?
Sprinter van's probably gonna have like rocket launchers on it and shit. Like, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah. So this was kind of a spoil the moment thing today, and we usually have something we get on topic about, some things we bring up, but then we just freestyle it or get passionate about stuff. I don't know what my freaking social media is. So anyway. There's some people.
But you definitely did.
TOG 428.
TOG 428. Okay, so tell everybody where they can find you. On social media.
My physical address?
No, please, no. For God's sakes, do not. I repeat, do not go anywhere near. Please. I beg of you, if you out there, you crazy, and if you think it's a remote possibility, you want to try Step, please don't. Please don't. Please. The guy keeps a gun in his bathroom.
The Alamo.
Shit in peace.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous motherfucker. If you can't shit without thinking about danger, that's some scary shit.
No, I tell you, man. I got my drone, man. Fly my drone. Got my infrared binoculars.
Oh my god! If you can't shit in peace, that's a dangerous thing, man. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
TOG 4280 on Instagram as well as TikTok. If you have one, if you don't have one, log on. Look at my videos. Tell me what you think. Good or bad, and different. I appreciate it. And then just my name. It's hard to. Everything's reversed. Right here at the bottom.
Yeah, you're right there.
Put it in. You'll see it. Because what I did as soon as I retired, I put a picture of me in my tack vest they didn't like, of my outer care, and then so it's easy to find.
Just being petty. Yeah. All right, you can find me at Real Prince Blue on Twitter, at Real Prince Blue on Instagram, Prince Blue on Facebook. Like I said, thank everybody for joining us. Thank everybody for tuning in. We got big stuff coming up. Like I said, we're talking to an organization there. We're gonna hopefully. I think this is gonna be really huge for everybody, and I'm I'm gonna be on everybody. The moment I start promoting that, if we don't get, I'm putting it out there right now. We don't get at least 100 people listening. I'm gonna be so upset because this is very huge, not just for Charlotte, but for everywhere. Because this is something that we're doing. We're not getting any money for doing this. We're not. We don't get paid to do this. We're doing this because we care and we want change. So please, the moment we make that announcement, please start supporting. Please.
And reach out to us if you got a question or a subject you want us to bring up or an issue. Uh, hit us up. We're
Email me or DM me or send me something on Facebook. And if you want it anonymous, I'll make it anonymous. If you want me to say your name with it, I'll say your name with it. Please, please, we want all the feedback, all the smoke, everything, because that will make us better. That will make the broadcast better, and that will help us um go far with this because we really, really are
it
passionate
doesn't
about
have to
this. We
be,
want to see things done.
it doesn't have to be law enforcement in the community.
Yeah,
Just
it could be. You can ask us about how do
opinion.
you like. Hey, what do you think about the Super Bowl? It could be anything. We don't
Or ask
care.
us, of course, we're not attorneys, but ask us how the law works, or hey, what happens if this happens, or what are cops looking at? I mean, it's we'll be up straight and honest, and we're here too to educate and try to
Right.
make things better. Knowledge is
And
power.
not just when bad things happen either. We're here to talk about when good things happen as well. So with that being said, thank you everybody. Everybody be safe, enjoy yourself. Um, just make sure you continue to support each other and be there for each other and make a difference. Like start in the home first. Like you don't have to go out here and tear it up like Superman. Start where you're at first. Start with yourself and then work outward.
That's right.
All right? That's it. All right, Jay. We're out of here. Everybody, see ya.